giant pink spotted banana segments to another with watermelon-themed swings and seesaws. Visitors are also invited to try various fresh exotic fruits at tasting stations throughout the exhibition. This is an experience built for Instagrams. I'll tell you that. The museum partners with local nonprofits, donating a portion of all ticket sales toward providing fruit and food for people in need. World of Fruit is open in Hollywood through July, and its creator hopes to eventually bring the experience to other U.S. cities. It's kind of cool.
Kind of a neat idea, yeah. You're so right. It's an Instagram
bonanza.
Yeah.
Social media all around. All right, that's our time for now. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. Have yourselves a good evening. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, the GOP-controlled Budget Committee has passed the 2-year spending plan. We'll tell you what the next steps are.
A warning from Madison police as communities are continuing to get hit by car thieves.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. At the end of this month, the full legislature is set to take up Wisconsin's 2-year spending plan.
The Budget Committee finished its work on the proposal today, adding a middle-income tax cut that is less than half of what Governor Tony Evers proposed. Rose Schmidt is live at the Capitol to tell us what's next. Rose?
Yes, committee negotiations are finished, but the work is far from over, as both houses have to separately pass the budget before sending it off to Governor Tony Evers.
Motion passes 12-4.
With one vote, the state's budget committee wraps up many weeks of work on the state's 2-year spending plan.
And I'm here to tell you this is a good budget. It's a really good budget.
The proposal crafted by Republican leaders strips many of Democratic Governor Tony Evers' top priorities, like legalization of medical marijuana, a gas tax increase, and Medicaid expansion, a plan Democrats vow to keep fighting for.
There are a lot of problems with this, but it does start with Medicaid expansion, because you take the expansion, you get the federal funding, that frees up more money to do more things.
While Governor Evers built his budget, as he said it, around Medicaid expansion, first of all, we didn't feel that that was necessary to be able to fund the true needs of the most vulnerable in our state.
On Thursday, Republican leaders added a $300 million income tax cut that will reduce the bottom 2 brackets, saving the average person $75. They did not include the tax increases for manufacturers and on capital gains that Evers proposed.
And we can do the tax cut without losing our priorities. I think that's really important. We're demonstrating to our Democratic fellows, especially Governor Evers, that we don't have to raise taxes in order to fund our priorities.
The governor asked for a more than $800 million reduction in income taxes, saving the average person more than $200. And Democrats say the Republican-crafted plan fails to provide the relief working people need.
It hits fewer people, provides lower income tax relief than Governor Evers.
Republican leaders are calling on Evers not to veto the entire budget. Democrats aren't saying whether they believe he should, but acknowledge the proposal could change over the next 2 weeks before going before both houses.
How they choose to deliver the document to the governor, whether it's 2 documents or 5 documents or however they deal with it in the end, that'll be up to the governor.
There are some questions about whether there will be enough votes in the Senate to pass the plan, as some Republicans have actually expressed concern about the budget. Both houses are expected to vote on this budget at the end of this month. Back to you.
Rose Schmidt live at the Capitol. Rose, thanks.
Governor Evers says he is fulfilling a campaign promise, relaunching the State Pardons Board. It would allow those who were convicted of a felony to apply for a pardon after 5 years since the completion of their sentence. Former Madison Police Chief Noble Ray was among those named to the board. He says the governor heard a lot about it on the campaign trail about giving people a second chance.
We hope, number one, we'll be able to deal with that pent-up demand. And number two, we hope that we will meet the governor's goal of second chance redemption while keeping the state of Wisconsin's communities safe.
A pardon simply restores certain rights like voting rights, but doesn't clear anyone's records. Anyone on the sex offender registry is ineligible for such a pardon.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Dave Caulfield is on the weather patio. Great afternoon today, Dave.
Oh, fantastic outside, Susan. A little bit on the cool side for this time of year, but a big improvement from what we experienced yesterday. Plenty of sunshine throughout the day for much of southern Wisconsin. Visible cloud track hasn't had much to do. Just some fair weather cumulus clouds popping up in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam over the last few hours. Temperatures right now have moved into the upper 60s, close to 70 degrees for many of us. 70 in Janesville, 68 in Platteville, and 71 in Boscobel. We have had some gusty northwest winds throughout the day, still gusting at about 20 miles per hour in Madison, a little bit stronger closer to Kenosha. We can expect more blustery conditions as we head into tomorrow. But for the next few hours, if you're maybe heading outside to the night market, it looks great with temperatures in the lower 60s into the upper 50s. Coming up, we'll talk about rain chances as we head into Father's Day weekend in your first alert forecast.
All right, Dave, thank you. Madison police arrested a homicide suspect during a traffic stop yesterday. 35-year-old Ronald Rice Jr. of Oregon was taken into custody during a traffic stop on Mineral Point Road Wednesday afternoon. He's accused of shooting a 26-year-old man in the leg last month during a fight inside a North Wickham Court apartment building on Madison's west side. Rice faces tentative charges of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless endangerment, and felon in possession of a firearm.
A Baraboo woman has died following a head-on crash in Dodge County. The Dodge County Sheriff's Department says it happened around 8:20 last night on State Highway 60, just west of County Highway P in the town of Rubicon. A 65-year-old woman was driving an SUV when it crossed the center line and hit another SUV head-on. The woman was taken to a hospital where she was later pronounced dead. Deputies say the driver of the other vehicle was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Thefts from unlocked cars have been quite a common issue, and it's been happening for a long time.
Despite numerous warnings from police to lock up, the problem persists. Our Keely Arthur joins us now live with a look at the communities that have been hardest hit. Keely?
Well, we don't want to blame the victim here, but when thieves want to get into your car, all they really have to do most times is open the door. Police say that is the biggest way these break-ins are happening, leading to crimes of opportunity all throughout our community. In Madison, we're actually seeing a slight decrease. In May of 2018, there were 79 thefts. This year, 73 break-ins. In Maple Bluff, authorities say the number of thefts comes in waves. Oftentimes, the perpetrators know one another and let each other know about a vulnerable area. Maple Bluff police say while everyone knows they need to lock their cars overnight, doing it during the daytime is just as important.
This used to be a common thing at night or early morning. It's not anymore. It's 24 hours a day. It could happen at noon or, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Another tip, keeping belongings hidden from plain sight in your car. That way a thief will be less likely to break in at all. And unfortunately, police say oftentimes these thieves go uncaught. So the best way to prevent becoming a victim is by locking your car doors. We're going to speak to one Maple Bluff woman coming up on News 3 Now at 6 who says she wishes she would have done that last week.
Yeah, don't give them any reason to want to break into your car. Keely Arthur, thank you. The Middleton Police Department believes a man handling fireworks materials likely caused an explosion earlier this week. First responders were called out. This was at a home in the 7100 block of South Avenue. Happened about 9:40 Tuesday night. The reports of an explosion inside a garage there. The 45-year-old man believed to be handling those materials was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
You've seen the signs most probably on the Beltline, and some you may recognize. Han says, slow down, somebody loves you, buckle up. These are safety signs posted all over Wisconsin. Have you ever wondered who comes up with this stuff and how does it get from its original idea to being displayed in front of your eyes? News 3 Now's Jamie Perez found the answer today, and she'll have that story tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
An art project is starting to change the landscape in downtown Janesville.
Jeff Enriquez is known for his work across the country. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us with why he's taking his talents to southern Wisconsin. Adam?
Well, Eric and Susan, this whole idea started when one of the leaders of Forward Janesville noticed a Jeff Enriquez mural in downtown Salem, Massachusetts. That's when she and other leaders from around town made the decision to commission him to paint a larger-than-life mural right here along Main Street in downtown Janesville. Now, they chose Chief Blackhawk, who was a band leader of the Sauk American Indian tribe, because he has ties here to Rock County. Now, depending on the weather, the mural could take a week or so to complete. When it's done, it will add what employees of businesses nearby are describing as some much-needed flair.
I think it is so exciting. Not only is Jeff a great guy, but his vision is awesome. It's going to be beautiful. The colors are going to be bright. It's also Blackhawk has got history here in Janesville. You're going to be able to notice it.
Enriquez says he's been reading up on Chief Blackhawk and studying his history while preparing for this piece, and he's from the East Coast. In fact, this is his first time here in Wisconsin, but he says the people here are very sweet, and those sweet people are very excited for this mural to be done. We'll hear from the artist himself coming up tonight at 6.
Looking forward to it. Adam Duxter in Janesville. Thanks, Adam.
Parents of new high school grads, college, of course, just around the corner, so it's a perfect time to have a conversation about money with your child. News 3 Now reached out to local financial advisor Mark Farnan, who says parents should focus on 3 main lessons: building a budget, being careful with credit, and reading the fine print when it comes to loans.
Recent surveys said that 68% of undergraduate students did not realize that the interest on their student loan started accruing, or being charged to them, if you will, at the time they took the disbursement. Most of them think that the interest doesn't start until after they graduate. A huge misperception. Interest begins to accrue as soon as the disbursement of the funds take place.
Farnan says more than 2/3 of college students in the class of 2018 took out student loans with an average loan debt of nearly $30,000.
One local pool is open for the season and gave free admission to the first 500 kids. The Goodman Pool has given 500 children free admission on the first day of the season ever since it opened in 2006, thanks to annual donations from Goodman's Jewelers. The late Irwin and Robert Goodman were the founders of Goodman's Jewelers. They donated nearly $3 million for the municipal pool to open.
I think hearing the laughter and kids having a good time in here is really what it's all about.
Beyond free admission, kids can receive Goodman scholarships for swim lessons or to join the wave or dive team. The scholarship is open to all students of all income levels. The pool will be open until Labor Day.
Madison Night Market happening in less than an hour. You can find more than 80 food, art, and gift vendors at State and Gilman Streets from 6 to 10 tonight. There will also be music from the Overture's Rising Stars. Can't make it out tonight. The next night market is scheduled for August. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, actor Cuba Gooding Jr. has turned himself in to the New York Police Department. We will tell you why.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says she will leave the Trump administration at the end of the month.
And on Wall Street, the Dow up 102 points in Thursday trading. The Nasdaq adds 44. The S&P 500 adds a dozen. We'll be right back. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. turned himself into NYPD today. Gooding Jr. facing at least one charge after a 29-year-old woman accused him of groping her at New York City's Magic Hour rooftop bar and lounge. His lawyer said footage from the bar proves that his client did nothing wrong.
City officials in Memphis are calling for calm following the shooting death of a 20-year-old black man. A U.S. Marshal shot and killed Brandon Weber, a fugitive wanted on multiple felony warrants last night. Police say marshals with the fugitive task force tried to arrest Weber outside a home when he jumped into a car and tried to take off. He was shot when he reportedly exited the vehicle armed with a weapon. Following the shooting, residents in Memphis threw bottles and rocks at police. At least 25 officers suffered minor injuries during the confrontation. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is reviewing the shooting to determine if any officers should face charges.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders will be leaving the Trump administration at the end of the month. President Trump announced that news on Twitter today. He says Sanders will be returning to her home state of Arkansas and has not immediately named a successor.
Police in Texas have arrested a suspected serial killer for the deaths of 3 people, including a transgender woman. Police arrested 34-year-old Kendall LaVar Lyles as a suspect in the deaths of an unnamed man and woman in North Dallas. Detectives say they learned Lyles was in the same area where Malaysia Booker was picked up, as well as the scene of her shooting death that same day. Police say Lyles could be connected to additional murders. He is a person of interest in the death of Chanel Lindsay, killed just days before his arrest.
The U.S. Navy rushed to assist after an apparent attack on 2 oil tankers in the Middle East. A Japanese ship and a Norwegian ship were attacked. A U.S. defense official tells CBS News Iran is likely behind the attack. It claims that Iran rescued all 44 crew members are patently false. The assaults come as Japan's prime minister is on a high-stakes diplomacy mission in Iran's capital, trying to ease tensions between the U.S. and Iran.
The House Intelligence Committee today is examining threats posed by artificial intelligence and so-called deep fake videos that are becoming more prevalent online. The committee explored what could be done and how new technology is potentially putting national security and future elections at risk. While the witnesses at the hearing said education of the public is key, as well as tools to help detect fake videos, they also say tech giants need to acknowledge it's a problem.
All of this can be automated, so they could target individuals, individual communities with different types of content.
Tech leaders and lawmakers faced a deadline for action with the next election season just around the corner.
It was an historic night for hockey fans in St. Louis. For the first time in their 52 years, the Blues won their first ever Stanley Cup. After 2 goals in the first period, the Blues won the championship against the Boston Bruins with a 4-1 win in Game 7. Before last night, the Blues had played the most games in NHL history without winning the Cup.
Congratulations to them. Let's get to weather now. Dave Caulfield is watching the forecast. Dave?
Well, Susan, it felt like some of us were inside of a hockey rink early this morning. It was a cool start across much of Wisconsin, especially for our friends to the north and west. Take a look at some of these low temperatures. Superior at 33 degrees. It's June 13th, folks, and there were some reports of some light frost across portions of northwestern Wisconsin and also into Minnesota, closer to Duluth. Visible cloud track has been pretty quiet for much of the day. We've been enjoying a lot of sunshine, helping those temperatures get from the 40s back into the upper 60s, closer to 70 degrees. And Doppler track has been quiet. It won't remain that way for very long, though, because we do have rain and storm chances, especially north of Dane County, entering the picture as we head into Friday, and then better storm chances for the rest of southern Wisconsin into Saturday. June precipitation, once again, it's been a fairly wet start to the month, although lately we've actually been slightly below average for the month of June. Keep in mind that June is typically one of our wettest months in Madison, so about 1.5 inches of rain. We picked up 0.35 inches of rain at the airport yesterday, although some spots over the last couple of days have picked up closer to an inch. Our time lapse in Madison is instead our time lapse in Platteville from last night. A great sunset was observed for many of us after those clouds cleared out. We haven't had many clouds to deal with today in Madison, the WISC-TV Skycam. So today's high just short of 70 degrees, about 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. And with that northwesterly breeze, it definitely did feel a little bit cool outside, but a big improvement compared to the rain yesterday. Some other high temperatures: 70 in Mineral Point, 71 in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien, 70 even in Janesville, and 68 in Watertown. That's pretty much where our temperatures sit right now across southern Wisconsin. Plans for tonight are looking great with temperatures in the 60s and 50s. By later on, I think we'll dip into the 40s for the second straight night in Madison. Mostly clear and cool, but if you are headed out to the night market or have evening plans, they are looking great. On Future Track, we noticed that the clouds really don't enter the picture until we get to early on Friday morning. I do think a lot of the rain showers will stay well north of Dane County for tomorrow, closer to Watoma, maybe portions of Sauk and Columbia County picking up some light rain showers, but really not much activity showing up closer to Madison. That changes in a big way, at least according to Future Track, as we get into Saturday. A line of showers and thunderstorms looking to set up across the area by the time we get into Saturday afternoon. So keep that in mind if you have plans this weekend, specifically on Saturday. For tomorrow, another blustery day on the way. Wind gusts today of about 20 to 25 miles per hour, so a little bit stronger on the way for tomorrow at about 30 to 35 miles per hour during the afternoon hours. So hang on to those hats as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So we may get a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, but again, another breezy day on the way. Showers and storms become more likely for the rest of us on Saturday as we take a look at the 10-day forecast. I do think that the rain and storms will move out during the morning on Father's Day. So any plans you have with Dad during the afternoon and evening are looking good. Dry weather stays with us for Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures are staying a little bit below normal for this time of year going forward. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Fish Hatchery and the Beltline slow in both directions right now. Average speeds on the Beltline of about 25 miles per hour, and we can see those delays in both directions, although Stoughton Road not looking too bad right now. And here are your drive times. It'll cost you a half hour from University Ave eastbound to the interstate, now up to 31 minutes with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. Some other routes in and around Madison, Sun Prairie, southbound to downtown, a little bit slow, 8 minutes with an average speed of around 20 miles per hour. And that's your first alert traffic update.
All right, thanks, Dave.
And ahead on News 3 Now at 5, you may think your child is a picky eater, but it could actually be part of a disorder. We'll explain after a short break. If you have ever spent time with young children, you know their food choices can sometimes be, well, a bit interesting.
That's one way to describe it, but when it comes to their well-being, when is it just a phase and when is it more? In today's Health Minute, Meredith Wood breaks down the risks and warning signs of avoidant restrictive food intake disorder.
ARFID can sometimes mask itself as a child being a picky eater. But when children start to experience significant weight loss or their physical growth is affected, medical professionals warn it can be much more.
It's very unique in that it seems to come up in younger childhood and really doesn't have anything to do with the child wanting to lose weight. It's just that they have a hypersensitivity often to textures and tastes and smells of food that causes them to not be interested in food, and as a result, they are restricting their food intake.
Paige Love, a registered dietitian who treats kids with ARFID, says almost every patient she sees eats the same limited diet.
Macaroni and cheese pizza, chicken nuggets, and usually chicken nuggets from a particular place, French fries, cheese quesadillas, or, a grilled cheese sandwich.
So children may experience vertical growth, but can be severely underweight and not producing muscle. Slowed reactions, anxiety disorders, and a fear of social situations a lot of times go hand in hand with ARFID diagnosis.
If kids just aren't having a normal progression of being open to trying other foods, and it starts to impact their growth, those to me are the big red flags that parents should be aware of and be talking to their pediatricians about.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment. Stay with us.
Here's a look at some of the stories we're working on. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders announces she's leaving the White House by the end of the month. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo directly blames Iran for attacks on 2 oil tankers this morning. And what you should know about the measles outbreak before your kids head off to summer camp. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Nice and brisk outside tonight.
Yeah, you can definitely feel kind of the cool air in place, but the sunshine, especially in the sunshine, it feels nice. And it will continue to feel nice as we head into the early evening hours. Temperatures falling slowly through the 60s. Once we lose that sunshine, though, we will be in the 50s, dipping once again into the upper 40s as we start off Friday. And then some showers and thunderstorms possible for Friday. I think they'll stay north of Madison for the most part. I don't think that will be the case on Saturday. All of us can expect some showers and thunderstorms, but I do think those storms move out just in time to get plans in with Dad for Father's Day afternoon.
Good stuff. Dave, thanks. Thanks for joining us. We're back in 30 minutes with News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.